Unbelievable. It's finally the 1st of September, and with a promise maybe that fall will come and it will be cooler. Well, when I first started this series about how I survived the 80s, it was in the garden, and I said one of the ways was to garden. But I modified that statement. It's the thought of gardening, not really gardening. And you'll see why today, because my garden is a total jumbly mess. Right here is between the weeds is the Swiss chard, and then of course the morning glory just takes over. I don't have the heart to pull it out because it's so pretty. And then these tomatoes, which are heirloom, it was Rose and Black Prince. Well, Rose turns purple, and then from purple it starts getting red. I'll never plant these purple tomatoes again because they're so hard to see when they get ripe. But they're very good. I think only one has made it to the house because I eat them as fast as I see them. And I'll try to show you how purple they get. Can you see the purple down there? Well, that's hard to sort of see when that's not ripe. It has to turn almost red again from purple. And usually it's in the afternoon that I finally see some red on them and say, hey, that's a ripe one. And anyway, I found out that the tomatoes are growing to the north in these beds that run this way, and in the beds that run the other way, they're growing to the east, with the exception of one bed, and evidently that gets more afternoon sun than morning sun, and so it grows to the west. And I'll show you my little bougainvillea has been blooming so nice all summer, and I think unless we have a really cold winter, maybe it's going to make it. And remember, it can get 20 feet tall. Okay, then I just hate to have you see my garden. It's such a mess. But my beans that I planted, they are now making beans. I'll show you. But I didn't tell you, but these are dry beans. And I won't even harvest them till fall when the plant starts dying back and drying out. Then I'll pick them and I'll have enough maybe for one meal. But they're in there. It's not a real probably proficient winter for. And then this is the tomato that I really like the best. But again, we can't even mow through here, let alone walk through here. So that's that one. And every bed has just gotten weeds in it. And I noticed my bee balm, which this is the best that it's ever grown here. It has a little yarrow sticking in it. That's a little hollyhock coming up. That's a potato. And weeds. And probably if I was very careful, I could get some potatoes from under that plant. And then this one grows east and west, this tomato. But it's getting scorched again because of the hot weather. So they look very yellow on one side, and they're probably red. I'll probably pick it tomorrow, that one, because it's just today it's even gonna be hotter and get more scorched. Okay, then this is the pepper that I cut, and it's recovering and it's starting to bloom again. So maybe before it's over, I'll get a jalapeno pepper. This is one of my nice peppers that I like to eat. Tom doesn't because it's a bit on the warm side. And then you'll see that it's looking towards fall, and things are beginning to look a little worse for wear. For some reason, this is the vine that I picked the huge squash off because you'd think I'd see them on this vine. I picked off a nice size one this morning off of that one. So we go around, and I'll show you again the cucumbers. and they're looking a little worse for wear too. The birds decorate them, but there's cucumbers down there. This morning I saw some other ones that I don't see right now, but I know there's other ones on here that I thought, well, I'm going to pick that one tomorrow probably. I picked one already off of this one. And then on this side, there's probably a couple that are ready almost. Now, over here, and again, see, it's growing into the aisleway. You'd think with this, wide of an aisle, that wouldn't do it. And I am going to start eating broccoli. This isn't, evidently, it's either not a good variety that won't make a nice head, or I planted them too late and went through the hot summer. If I planted them later, where in the fall, because I'm used to nice big heads, but when I pick this off, it will shoot out and it will have more broccoli all around. So in the next few days, I'll cook that one. This one isn't quite there yet, and yes, it's got a lot of bug and stress on it. According to Rosalie in the herb classes, she said a vegetable that has gone through stress is much more nutritional to eat than one that hasn't. So maybe we'll get some nutrition out of it. Okay, my comfrey we've cut quite a few times and it continues to grow. This sage has not bloomed yet. And this next year, I'm taking it out. I'm going to put it in the front because it's not a sage I can eat. It will eventually bloom. It will have similar red blossoms to the other one. They have really pretty blossoms. I've had that in Nampa, and you can. The blossoms are edible, but not the leaves. So it's going some other place. And then, again, it's just a jumbly mess. And there's even my sunflower is looking worse for wear. So this is a September garden with an 80-year-old woman that doesn't function well in the heat. So there it is. And surviving the 80s.